Hello and welcome to the Cantina Chatter podcast. My name is Victoria and I'm your host on this galactic adventure through all things Star Wars, film and television, toys, theme parks, video games, and more. Welcome back to Cantina Chatter. Really excited today because I have Tom here with me. We're going to discuss the Hasbro I Am Your Father's Day. Is that what it is? Live stream.
Very good pun-tastic name there.
Yeah, just to go hand in hand with the Mother's Day reveals that they did last month.
Right. Yeah. It's because of the line that got said in that movie from 1980.
Yeah.
Womp womp.
Yeah. Oh well. I mean, it is Father's Day, right? Is it this weekend or?
I have no idea. Let's say yes.
I hope it's not because I have been kind of not on top of holidays like recently, and if it is, then I might be getting a little bit late here for sending something to my dad.
June 20th, 2 weeks away.
Oh, thank goodness. Yep. I have time. Woot. Well, cool. So yeah, the last time they did one of these was last month, right? It was the May the 4th reveal. So, slightly over a month ago.
Right.
And, they didn't reveal a whole lot. Before that, it was like in early April and they did a different one. And, there were some reveals in there that we talked about. Mm-hmm. But it seems like quite a few people are jazzed this time, aren't they? Because they actually revealed a pretty good amount of product.
Yeah. And my feelings on that is a little lukewarm, given the fact that most of it's repacks again, and I'm not. And the repacks are all smart repacks. Every single one of them is a smart repack, and unlike those weird vintage collection ones that they had recently, these are all good repacks. They're things that we've wanted. But for me, it's like, well, okay, it's another of this character that I already have.
Right.
So I'm a little bit more than most folk, but there's certainly some things that I'm very jazzed about.
Yeah, absolutely. There's some really interesting things here, and I almost feel like the pipeline reveals, which we'll discuss at the end of this, may have been even more exciting than the whole presentation. So
no question.
Yeah,
for me.
So
no question.
We'll get into it. What are you drinking over there? What is that?
Iced tea.
Iced tea. You can't go wrong with iced tea. I just got a little Waterloo blueberry sparkling water thing.
Well, that looks delicious.
It's actually a really good flavor. This is sparkling water. They're out of Texas, and that's why it's called Waterloo, because I think the city of Austin, and this is random, was originally called Waterloo. So.
Okay. Right. I drink iced tea all the time until evening, and then I drink gin all the time. But it's not quite evening yet. Here in Eastern time.
Not quite yet. Not quite here either.
15 more minutes.
Exactly. You got a little time left, so pace yourself. Well, cool. So, Tom, let's go and get into these reveals. So, I'm feeling good about what we saw, but we kind of have to address everything, and that includes Mission Fleet. So for Mission Fleet, looking at the reveals that we had today, there were a few different things that we hadn't quite seen before. So we already saw the blurg. The blurg is already out, and that comes with Queel. However, this time there's a blurg that has a Mandalorian on it. So you're, two blurgs. If you already have the previous one and you're collecting Mission Fleet, here's another blurg for you.
Sure. If you're collecting Mission Fleet, yay. Do you know? I don't know anyone collecting Mission Fleet. These are on the rare times I get to go to a big box store that has Star Wars stuff. These are the only things on the pegs, because the children and gift-giving parents have taken all the potentially more exciting collector-focused stuff and bought those up and left behind the Mission Fleet stuff. So that's the gift-giving parents seem to leave these on the shelves. So I don't know how well these are doing. I don't care about them in the slightest, but I'm a little frustrated that it's a 2.5 inch scale, right? So it's 1 1/4 inch smaller than vintage collection stuff. Now, how's the articulation on Mission Fleet? Do you have any idea? Are they just like 5 points of articulation? Don't you have a couple? You have a couple, don't you?
I do. I don't know where they're at. I do have a couple. They're so small they get lost easily.
Right.
I seem to recall that the arms are on like one joint like this, and the legs do the same thing. They're like together on like so like.
Okay.
I don't remember the heads move or not, but I have Ahsoka and I have Chewbacca from the first wave. No. I have Boba Fett as well. I think he was like wave 2. I haven't opened Boba Fett.
So those are almost like 2 points of articulation then.
Basically, yeah. And then I have the Mandalorian with the speeder and the child, and I haven't opened that set. Okay. I have a few. I haven't gone all into this line. I know that some people say that, you know, they buy a couple and then they really get intrigued by it and they start buying them all. So
I could see myself doing that. That's why I'm not going to buy any.
Yeah, you know what? For what they are, they're fun. The figures remind me of those little figurines you used to get back in the like 80s and 90s where you put the quarter into the machine, spin the little dial, and then the little capsule comes out with the toy in there.
Sure. They remind you of toys you got for 25 cents from a
Exactly. The figures do, yeah. They're not bad for what they are. Are they a little overpriced? Maybe. I
think these days that they're probably fine. The pricing on is probably fine. I mean, you know, all these things are just so expensive these days.
Yeah.
But can I go into a couple feelings on this?
Of course.
Okay, so you've got the second release of a blurg now, right? And he looks like he's got some articulation. He's $19.99. Are you telling me you couldn't scale that up and make one for the vintage collection and maybe sell it for $30? And then the other one. Now this is a big one that like I've debated with people about, and I will happily acknowledge that my take on these things is often very different from other people's. Let's look at that Razor Crest. That Razor Crest costs $40, and it is scaled for a 2.5-inch figure, right? So it's gonna be a little thing.
Yeah.
And Hasbro said, oh, the only way they can do that for the vintage collection is to make it a $350 HasLab thing, which also means it's almost to scale for the collectors out there that want the giant big thing that's full of all the stuff. That's absolutely fantastic and absolutely makes sense. But my argument was always, I don't understand why they can't release one that's about, you know, this big. The figure's this big. You can have a little ship that's about this big that, you know, maybe costs, I don't know, these days they'd charge $100 for it, even though it's only scaled up 30% from this $40 one.
Yeah.
I don't understand why that wasn't an option for them, and I find it kind of frustrating, even though like I'm not in the market for either version of Razor Crest. You know, to the people that always want the ship to be the biggest, hugest possible thing, you know, the people out there that they want a sand crawler that's this big, the HasLab thing makes sense. But again, I don't understand why a more market-friendly version couldn't have been produced that maybe kids could get. But then again, I don't think kids are buying vintage collection stuff anymore. I think that's over and done with.
Right.
So, you know, that's where it's sort of like,
Yeah, no, I hear you. And that's where I hear, you know, some people say, you know, like Adam from Galactic Hunter will say, you know, there should be kind of like what they did during The Force Awakens, Rogue One, Last Jedi. There should be like a, you know, a middle ground for, you know, 3 3/4-inch figures, but that are 5 POA. And, you know, you have vehicles like you had during that era where they were like smaller, not the most detailed, but still representations of TIE fighters or Kylo Ren silencer or the A-Wing or, you know, all that stuff they came out with during that era.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of that stuff maybe didn't sell too well. And maybe that's kind of why they decided to either go all in on vintage collection or try this new format of Mission Fleet.
Yeah.
But yeah, it would be nice if we were still in, you know, the olden days where they could do an ARC 170 fighter for $30 or a Republic gunship for $40, or
Yeah, right. Because that would be $200 now if they released it. But again, we're looking at a ship that looks like its scale is about this big, and it's this big, and they're selling it for $40. You're telling me you couldn't make one that's this big, and you couldn't make that for less than $200? Like, I don't. It just doesn't make any sense to me, and I don't buy it.
I feel like they could. I feel like they could make one for like 100. Maybe it's it's obviously not as detailed as the HasLab. It probably doesn't have the removable panels. It could maybe it's just the shell, and you open the cockpit and put your figure in. Maybe it has an opening door on the side. I feel like that would be possible. It wouldn't have the same level of deco, obviously.
Yeah.
I feel like it's doable.
I'm legit talking about the thing that they've showed us for the mission fleet, doing just the same stuff. The cockpit opens and the side opens.
Yeah.
Now, they've probably got their metrics which straight up state our demographic, who's the only ones buying this stuff at this point, has no interest at all in a scaled down version of it. So would rather, they sold 30,000 of the $350 one, right? So for a collector market, that's probably about as high as you go. Remember the sail barge we got less than 10,000 of, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, and it sounds like if you listen to Brian Flynn talking about Super 7 stuff, the things that he wants to make, like you're not getting 30,000 orders for anything. So, but nonetheless, I used to have that argument with a friend of mine about, you could have made a smaller one. He's like, no, it can't be small because the scale of the figure. And I sent him the picture of this. I'm like, yeah, you can. Look at this. You could do that. But, anyway, that's just my take. But again,
Yeah, you're not wrong. It's interesting. I think it's doable. But, obviously we don't have all the data they have, and they must have, some edict from above coming where, they have to do things a certain way. So
yeah,
we'll go with it. What else did they have for mission fleet? So they also had, there's a child version. It's just the child by himself. That's weird. So he has the pram. He has some food. It looks like the little octopus dish that he had, and a blanket. So that's interesting. The child is super tiny. I have the Mandalorian set, and he's like itty bitty. So it's hard to, $15 seems a little high, but.
They're not going to sell any of this stuff for less than $15 these days, I don't think.
Yeah.
I think that's your low end price point for anything that a store is going to put in. If it's not $15, it's not worth their shelf space.
Yeah. There's the Bad Batch. It's a 4-pack. You get 4 members of the Bad Batch, so that's pretty neat. What else do we have? So we have some stuff that's not Mandalorian or Bad Batch. There's also the STAP, right? Is it Star Wars Mission Fleet Gear Class? So these are the smaller ones, $7.99. These are the standalone figures, and this one's the Battle Droid and the STAP. So
take they won't put anything on the shelf for less than $15 comment and shove it out the window. That was $8.
There's also the what is this? This is, it says Anakin Skywalker Bark Speeder Strike. It's not Anakin on there though. It's Tech, isn't it? Looks like Tech.
It looks like Tech to me.
Yeah.
I think that's. It says it's just a picture of one. These are the Expedition class. It looks like there's 2, and the only picture they've got is the Bad Batch AT-RT vehicle.
Okay.
Which is absolutely my least favorite walker.
I don't mind it. I have the 501st one that just says 501 on the side of it. So.
That's fun.
And then there is there's a larger one. Well, it's not that much bigger, $19.99, and this is Bo-Katan and her Starfighter Siege. Wait, what is it called? Bo-Katan Gauntlet Starfighter Siege. All right.
Didn't we always wanted one of those for the 3 3/4 scale? So once again, I'm bummed that we can't scale that up 33% for our 3 3/4 inch figures.
Yeah, I have the 3 3/4 inch one. I don't think it's that exact vehicle, but it is the Mandalorian gunship.
It's it looks like a bus, right? It's got the same wings, but the center is kind of
Yeah,
like bus.
it's the body's a little bit more round.
Yeah, I've got that too. I like it, but it's it took me a while to realize, oh, that's not the thing from the show at all. That's like made up.
Really? It wasn't in Clone Wars?
Yeah, I don't think so. This one's the one that's in Clone Wars.
Well, there's multiple, right? I think Maul even had something like this in Rebels that looked like that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so yeah, I hope they do another one in 3 3/4, like an accurate one. I mean, that would be a hit. I feel like Bo-Katan ship. Who wouldn't buy that in vintage? Everybody would.
I'd buy it. Yeah. In a heartbeat.
Yeah. So there's also another one of these lightsabers. I don't know if you've seen them, Tom. They seem to have hit quite a bit earlier in the year, and then they just like disappeared. I haven't seen them in some time, but there's this new lightsaber assortment for $9.99. And they're the wackiest things. They're basically the lightsaber hilt has a character on each hilt, and then the blade like extends from the top. Have you seen these?
No, not anywhere other than in this picture. Because if I've seen it in a store, which I probably had, I've absolutely ignored it.
Yeah.
If kids like this, awesome.
Right.
Good for them.
Yeah, good for them. I mean, $10. I've seen like the Luke X-wing. I've seen. I think there's a Stormtrooper, an R2D2. Maybe there's some different ones, and they're just like silly. But you know, I guess they're selling because now we have the child. So, and why is it called the child? We're all this many months out from his name being revealed. Why is it the child still?
I don't know. I mean, they say it takes 18 months. They can't reprint it. Yeah. I mean, when did we find out his name was Grogu?
November, I think.
Was it November? Yeah. So it's like 7 months ago. Okay.
Yeah, whatever. Who cares? It's just technicality.
Everyone still just calls him Baby Yoda.
That's true. I still hear that. I work with kids, and they never say Grogu. They always say Baby Yoda.
Yeah. It's always going to be Baby Yoda.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So let's take a look at a Black Series. So there's some stuff coming for Archive, and I was watching the live stream a little bit earlier, and they said that this was the final Lucasfilm 50th anniversary Archive wave of the year, and this is going to be out later in the year. It says fall 2021, $22.99. So that price that's incrementally gone a little bit higher for MSRP. Whether or not the stores will actually charge that, I don't know, but.
GameStop will charge more.
Oh, GameStop will charge at least that or more. Yeah, no, yeah, for sure. Princess Leia, what do you think?
Well, I was sort of excited about it until I saw the better photos of it. I got the original release of the A New Hope Princess Leia, the one that doesn't look good.
Grumpy cat face Leia.
Right. Yeah, I didn't get the revised version after that because me buying multiples of the same character is like it's going to be few and far between when I do that, but we'll come to some examples of that. So I was excited about this. I'm like, oh, cool. If it's got the face print stuff and it looks like Carrie Fisher that time, that'll be awesome. Because I've seen, the Hoth Leia. The Hoth Leia is the best Leia figure. It looks fantastic. And then looking at the face for this, and you pointed something out, which I'll let you reveal.
Okay. So yeah, for me, when this figure originally came out, I think it was 2017. It was like late. It was like the last wave of 2017. I love Princess Leia. This is like her most iconic look out of all of Star Wars. And I was so thrilled that this figure was coming. I went to Comic-Con that year. I talked to Steve Evans and I was like, so Steve, let's talk about the head sculpt on this Leia. And he said, she's just really hard to get. She's just really hard to get nailed down. Yeah. But he did say, this isn't final. What you see here isn't going to be what's going to be sold. Mm-hmm. It ended up being that the one that they did have on display did end up being sold later that year. Yeah. With the grumpy cat. I know people call her the grumpy cat face Princess Leia because that's what she looks like.
Sort of stretched out. Yeah.
Yeah, and her eyes are just like, she looks mean. So, that was a little frustrating. I was mostly happy with the figure except for the portrait, which is kind of like the main part of the figure.
Yeah.
But when, I think it was a few months after that, they actually redid it for the 40th anniversary Black Series A New Hope line. And for that line, they did a brand new sculpted head, and she looked really, really good. Like, the sculpt was completely there. I have no qualms at all with that figure. If they never did anything else with that figure, I would be fine with what they did. But here she is coming back. And they, instead of using photoreal on that fantastic, more recent release, they went back to that first head sculpt. Oh my God.
Yeah, that's sure what it looked like to me in the photo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of looked like on the live stream, like when Eric was holding up the figure, it kind of looked like the newer one, but then when they showed the press pictures, it looked like the older one.
Maybe it'll be like the last time where the press picture, maybe the one they released will be the correct head sculpt one.
Yeah.
That's not a pre-order for me though. I'm gonna have to look at that one and see.
It's a tough one for me. I mean, I'm pretty completist of Black Series, but little things like this really frustrate the hell out of me because they're probably never going to do this figure again. There's no need to. This is the third release.
They'll re-release original Star Wars Princess Leia again.
Well, maybe 50th anniversary, maybe.
Yeah. I think that's one that they're going to consistently keep the original trilogy cast in rotation every few years. Yeah.
We'll see. I'll reach out to them and see if they can confirm one way or another. But yeah, those press pics are not very encouraging. And if they did in fact go back to that old head, it just, I kind of feel like maybe whoever made this decision just didn't know that they went back and changed it. We know these teams rotate every few years, and it's been several years since that release. So
yeah, fingers crossed. It's either something that's wrong with the photo just looked odd, or it's something that they're going to be able to correct, because that's just a bummer. That doesn't put a smile on old Tom's face. Yeah, that makes me grumpy Tom. Tom.
It's the details. It's the details. And then on a similar beat, we had Revenge of the Sith Obi-Wan. He's coming back to archive, and this is another one that I've been seeing on social media. A lot of people aren't necessarily happy about it because same thing.
Why? What? Okay, so hang on. What's wrong with that one? I don't get the complaint on this one. What's wrong with it?
It sucks.
What sucks about it? The face looks great.
Do you have it in front of you?
I've got.
That's a custom or something, or a head swap.
This is the Clone Commander Obi-Wan, right? Isn't that the same head they're using for this new one?
No, they're repainting the original head from 2014 or 2013 or whenever it was.
Wait, that's not what this is? This is a different head?
That's a different head. No.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Hang on.
Yeah, so the first one they released was from Revenge of the Sith. It was Obi-Wan. I think it was like early 2014. It was very early on in the Black Series.
Yeah.
And then the next one was the Walgreens exclusive, from the micro series Clone Wars. And then they did episode 2 Obi-Wan a year ago. And then more recently we've gotten the Target exclusive Clone Wars version. So there's 4 so far.
Right.
But the one that's coming back is the very first original release.
Oh, bollocks. Oh gosh.
Yeah, now you see.
Yeah, so no, okay, so yeah, when I got lucky and went into my local Walgreens, and one of the last times they had a Star Wars figure there, it was the one Clone Commander Obi-Wan, which I have zero interest in, the clone armor thing. But I was just like, well, I'm going to take the head off and put it onto the other one. And yeah, the head didn't fit exactly. I had to put a little bit of duct tape in there. But he looks, look how good he looks.
Yeah.
He looks great.
That looks perfect.
He looks perfect. So I was like, yeah, isn't that just what they're going to do for this? And that's not.
It's super frustrating. Like, I know that the Attack of the Clones...
I was gonna buy that one. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna buy it, and then I'll put this head back on the other thing. Now it's like,
yeah, no, don't do that. The Attack of the Clones one, I think I think that even the body's different on that one. I think maybe they use some parts from Qui-Gon and like it's a little bit different, the body, but this one they're just straight up reusing the old body and the old head and repainting it, and it looks better because it has photoreal, but it's like the same thing with the Grumpy Cat Princess Leia. Yeah, it looks better because it has photoreal, but it doesn't look right, you know.
Yeah. Jeez Louise. I'm trying to find a bigger photo of it to look at. Is there any site that has like a big photo of it? Doesn't matter. Okay, never mind. I understand why people are upset about it. I legitimately thought that this was the same head, just repainted from the original one. Because I didn't pay much attention to it. The original one's paint applications were so not good that I was just like,
right. Yeah, it's another one of those things.
Well, that's a stinker.
I mean, they could have just. I mean, maybe the body isn't meant to be compatible with the heads of the newer figures, but I mean, that could have been an option, or they could have just taken the Attack of the Clones Obi-Wan and used the new head that comes on the current Clone Wars Obi-Wan on the Attack of the Clones body. I think that would have been perfectly acceptable. You know, repainted the body to be film accurate to Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah. Darn.
Yeah. Darn.
Check out my awesome Revenge of the Sith Obi-Wan Kenobi. He comes with a brown cloak that I purchased online, and he has a blue lightsaber, so that means it's the correct lightsaber.
Nice. All right, so Archive, the next one we have is Darth Revan. So I felt like this was a little bit puzzling because I know that they brought him back. Like he came out, I think, in that same wave with the Grumpy Cat Leia.
He did. That's the first wave that I ordered a whole box, the whole set.
Yeah, and he was kind of hard to get. I don't think I ever saw him in retail, but then they kept putting him out through the fan channels. Like, you know, he came out several times after that.
Oh yeah. I saw him at Best Buy.
Nice. So here he is again, and I think they said in the live stream the one difference is that the red lightsaber is more vivid or something.
I mean, if they made one difference, it would be to have his hips not as loose. They're very, very loose on mine. I think I had to get some blue sticky tack and stick them up there so he wouldn't just kind of fall over. But he's a great figure. Yeah, he seemed like he was pretty easy to get for quite a while. So, you know, maybe not. Maybe not. If you don't have Darth Revan, enjoy a Darth Revan. And if your hips are loose, just stick some sticky tack up there. Stick it on his butt.
Yeah. I'm not going to buy it just for the lightsaber. That's the only thing that's different. I mean, you know, I've got to save money too here where I can. So
looks like I'm buying none of these at present, except for
the next one. What's the next one?
The 501st Trooper. Yes, 501st Trooper, 501st Trooper. He's the one that I really, really want. I want a 501st Trooper. I've only got one. I need one more, or maybe two, or maybe 10.
Ooh, 10. That's ambitious.
I'm not getting 10.
No, I know you're not.
But I'm very excited about the fact that's such a good release.
That is a smart repack, and that is one that I have been hoping would come into Archive for some time. I mean, that to me that makes sense. Archive should be about army builders or figures that will sell. You know, undoubtedly will sell it. And this is a good one. Last year, of course, we got the Ahsoka was a 332nd, or I don't know what the Legion is or whatever, but
the Ahsoka clone.
The Ahsoka clone, yeah. And yeah, so I have two of these ones already. This particular one from the 4-packs that were released through Amazon years ago.
I sure do wish I'd bought that from Entertainment Earth when it was going for $50.
Was that where? Maybe that's where it was exclusive. I don't remember anymore, but it was.
But I didn't.
Yeah, I got two of them, so I have two of each of those clones. So. But yeah, this is a good one. I mean, this one makes sense. And I know they're reissuing Captain Rex later in the year through the fan channels. So if they're going to do that, you know, you kind of got to have his clones to go along with him. And Rex is another smart repack. It just, to me, that seems like an Archive release. I don't know why they're not releasing him in Archive, but.
That's a good point.
Yeah. I mean, even general regular collectors and even kids that maybe dip their toe in a Black Series would want him. I would think they would want Rex.
Yeah. So. Oh yeah, he's great. I got the first release of him, whatever the exclusive was to Hasbro Toy Con.
Yeah, that was the first one.
Yeah, which, it doesn't have the properly painted face, but I always have him displayed with the helmet on anyway, so it's fine with me. Yeah, I love that figure. That's anytime you give me Clone Wars Black Series figures, I'm gobbling them up. I'm crazy about it. So yeah, very excited about Captain Rex.
Oh yeah, thrilled.
Oh, not Captain Rex. I mean, yay for Captain Rex, but I'm excited about 501st Trooper.
Yeah. I mean, this is one of the most recognizable of all the clones, right? So
yeah, they're the ones that go into the Jedi Temple and help murder kids.
Yeah, them. So okay, after Archive, that goes into regular Black Series, kind of sort of, and I say kind of sort of because these first couple are exclusives to Target. But we're finally getting Galen Erso in the Black Series, which to me is a little surprising. I know people have been asking for Galen Erso, but I didn't think we're actually going to see Galen Erso, but here he is.
I'm a little surprised we're getting Galen Erso before we're getting Saw Gerrera. Mainly because Saw Gerrera is a more interesting looking toy. Galen Erso, I'm probably going to get him. But like, man, he's a dude in a kind of green gray suit. He's new, and anytime he makes something new, I can't complain too much. But he's not quite. He wouldn't be my top pick. Although the other Target exclusive would almost be my top pick. So.
Yeah. So there's Galen. Yeah, I'm excited. I know the 5POA Rogue One had like a little mouse droid. That would have been cool to see here, but oh well. Said he has the Death Star plans, which kind of, I guess, is cool. So yeah, I almost lost the Death Star plans that came with the Rebel Fleet Trooper. So I guess it's kind of good they're giving him again, but it kind of still doesn't make sense because that diskette was specific to what the Rebels downloaded the plans to. So it doesn't make sense that Galen would have those, but I'm not going to.
Is it Galen that's got him, or is it Bodhi Rook?
No, it's Galen that has him.
Oh, okay.
I think that's his only accessory. Or does he have a blaster? I don't remember.
That would be kind of dumb for him to have a blaster.
Yeah,
he could have cool farm equipment. Yeah, it's an odd choice, but it's a Rogue One figure. Anytime they're adding to the Rogue One roster, I'm happy. I'd be surprised if I didn't pick him up. Yeah, the Death Star plans is kind of weird, but maybe you lost the other Death Star plans like you did. Now you get more Death Star plans.
Yeah, I almost lost it. I eventually found it, but yeah.
I'd bet dollars to donuts I've lost my Death Star plans.
So yeah, he's a Target exclusive, as is General Anton Merrick. Merrick, Blue Leader.
Blue Leader, yes.
He is. Yeah, I mean, this isn't too surprising. I mean, they unveiled him for Vintage Collection, so 6-inch kind of makes sense. Yeah, it looks great. I don't have any complaints about it. I'm sure it'll do well. Yeah, it's got a good head sculpt too. Really nice likeness on this one.
It looks fantastic. I'm very excited about that figure because I think he's great. Also, we've loved him in other that actor and other stuff. So I know that my wife will be very excited to get that actor in a 6-inch form.
Nice.
He's great. Yeah, a no-brainer. But
just hope. Yeah, I think I know what you're going to say.
Let's just hope what?
That we can get them.
Anyway, what about the last new figure for Black Series there?
The last new figure for Black Series. So this is part of a fan channel exclusive wave. Just like we saw with the Rebels wave and Zeb being an online thing. Same thing here for Bodhi Rook. He's going to be part of this comeback Rogue One wave that is online only. And he's a brand new figure. Sculpt, I think, is completely brand new from what it sounded like. And, again, this is something that they've been asking for a long time. I know I asked him about this in person and at various points. When we're going to get Bodhi Rook? We got pretty much all the rest of anybody from Rogue One that you would consider like a core member of the crew, except for Bodhi. So here he is finally. And He looks pretty good. I feel like there's something maybe a little bit off. I don't know if it's just me, but maybe when I have it in person, I'll think differently. But from what I can see so far, I feel like something's just a smidge off with Bodhi.
I'm happy as a clam about Bodhi Rook. He's a great character. He's long overdue. I know that he didn't originally have quite the same size role as he ended up with, which is I think why he didn't end up getting made. Mm-hmm. But now we get him with proper face app paints and paint apps, and I'm very excited to finish up the Rogue One crew with him. Yeah. But then all the other ones are redos of figures that are readily available anytime you want them, anywhere, but with the updated face paint. So that's a tricky one. Man, that's a tricky one. I know you're gonna get them.
I'm gonna get them, but what I do wonder is if I go to Walgreens, I know that it's not a Walgreens thing they're gonna carry, but if they were carrying it, this was a mass release line, would they have the new one on the shelf right alongside the original release from 2016?
They don't need to get the new ones because they still have the ones from 2016. I mean, we still have Cassian Andor down at one of our local Walgreens.
Same here.
Rogue One figures did not exactly fly off the shelves. I mean, the Felicity Jones face paint was dreadful on the original one. Really, really dreadful. So I'm probably going to pick that one up.
I remember at the time Hasbro was kind of touting like, this is a new type of paint operations. She looks awesome. And I'm like, what? She looks like a doll. But I mean, this goes to show us what a little paint can do. I mean, this version of Jyn looks way better with the photo reel. She looks way better.
Yeah, really spot on.
And who else do we have in this Rogue One wave?
We got the Cassian Andor, the one that was originally part of a exclusive 3-pack. So I bought him loose from someone. He's the better choice than the original individual release where he had his Jetta coat on. Because that was an odd choice for, I think. K2SO again, Baze Malbus, and Chirrut Imwe. And they've all got great face paint apps now.
They do. They look great. I don't have any complaints here about these. The only one I'm curious about, during the live stream, it was Eric that mentioned that K2SO had, they did something to the eyes. So the very first K2SO, Tom, that came out, I think just had like white eyes, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, I think so.
And then the second, they actually reissued it with red pupils. And it wasn't a common like reissue. It was the tail end of that item's like production run or, second run or whatever it was. And they put red pupils on the figure. And he mentioned that one in the live stream, but he didn't mention the original release. He did say that this one has all white eyes, which if true still is inaccurate because K2SO does have like kind of like grayish pupils that, do move, his eyes do move around. So I'm trying to see here based on these photos that they sent, if that's the case. And it's kind of hard for me to tell if they did that correctly here. I want to say that maybe, but it's just like, we don't really have a close up of his face. I can't really say definitively. If he does have on the box. Well, on the box, he does have them. You could see like on the side of the box, like the portrait that they used, the artwork. You can see he has like those pupils in his eyes, but I don't know if the figure has them.
Yeah, it's a little too small for me to be able to tell.
Yeah, I have it blown up and I still can't tell. We need like a close up shot of the figure. That's another thing I'd like to, if given the opportunity, is clarify is, what did you mean about the eyes? Because there was actually, now this is going to be the third version of K2, so not the second.
Yeah.
But these are cool. Fan channel exclusives. I think that makes sense. I mean, these aren't going to peg warm again at retail, some of these characters. Not that they would anyway, because Hasbro produces these figures in such limited numbers these days. But, they're definitely not going to peg warm anywhere that you can't find them. So
yeah, keep them on the fan channel exclusives, and let's keep our collector stuff there for now.
It's a safe bet. I mean, and this is a good format for in the future, should they want, and they probably won't, but should they want to bring back figures from The Force Awakens or, whatever, just kind of centralize like around a theme where they can update the figures that didn't look too great the first time.
Right.
But we'll see where they go with this. I can't really think of anything else they need to do in the immediate future where they need to get the whole series back out there. So
it'd be a while for some of those things.
Yeah, the solo figures already had photo reels, so
yeah, they looked great. We just need Kira.
Did you see that comic recently? I think it was earlier this week. Some comic is coming out about the bounty hunters. I think it's issue number 1, or did you see that?
Mm-mm.
So
does it have Kira in it?
It takes place between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, and Kira is in it.
Well, I mean, Kira's in it until they put her in a show or a movie and then kill her off.
Guess what she's in possession of in this comic?
Han Solo and Carbonite.
Yes.
Sure. As the Bad Batch officially told us about the comics and the books and stuff like that, they're canon until they're not.
Right.
Don't hold them too much to canon.
Right. Snoke was canon in the Force Awakens novel, wasn't he? Or Last Jedi novelization in a different way than he was in, or something like that. I don't even remember anymore. There's been so many books. I mean, but like the Emperor knew of him or something, and then he ended up being the Emperor. So I don't know. Like you said, it's canon until it's not. So
yeah, those I'm sorry to say, most of the books and stuff exist merely as like merchandising opportunity to keep Star Wars fans like us still attached when nothing else is going on. And they're not really, back when Timothy Zahn wrote his books, I think they had like a story and they came up with a thing, and now it's write a book that has secret tie-ins to the next movie so we can market it with it has special tie-ins to the next movie, and people hunt through it, be like, oh man, who's Sarko Plank? And it's like, it's nobody.
Who cares?
Yeah.
Sarko Plank.
Sorry, I'm grumpy on that stuff.
No, but it's okay. It's okay to be a little grumpy. All right.
If you love that stuff, awesome.
Yeah. So let's get into the vintage collection here. So
the
vintage collection, they led off with something that people have been asking for. In particular, Chris from Bantha Skull has been posting about before on Bantha Skull, asking for the Rebel Soldier, the Echo-based Battle Gear Hoth Rebel Trooper. This is another smart repack, and it's smart that they're integrating him into the main line and not into like a web exclusive fan channel refresh wave thing.
Oh yeah,
because people will want this one, and I like that they are not completely ignoring previous figures from the vintage collection in the main line. Like, they have these fan channel waves, which are great, sometimes, but then they're still occasionally bringing some of them back into the main line, and I think that's not an unwise thing to do. And I think this is a good example of one that, is going to do perfectly well. Just why didn't they do it with the Rebel Fleet Trooper? I don't know. But, this is one people have been asking for. It's super expensive on the secondary market. And I do have one loose, but, I'll definitely appreciate getting more of them.
Yeah. Yeah, he's super cool. He's not for me, but people have been clamoring for him. So I think it's really smart that they're releasing.
Yeah. Absolutely. The next figures that we have are from the Mandalorian, all the ones that they showcased. So we have the Mithral, which, it's just such a weird name because that's his species, but I think that's what he's referred to in the credits of the Mandalorian. They never name him. So it's kind of a weird thing. Like, why doesn't he have a name? Everybody has a name in Star Wars, right? Basically. So anyway, he looks good. He's a good looking figure. And they did say before that we're going to get more figures that interact with the Razor Crest. So yeah, this makes sense. He interacts with the Razor Crest and he looks good, and he's an alien. He's like the secondary alien character, which, yes, more.
Yeah. They don't do that much these days. So that's a good decision.
Absolutely. We have Queel, who has been rumored for some time.
That makes sense.
And Queel, another one that interacts with the Razor Crest. He's an essential. I mean, if you're going bare bones on your Mandalorian Vintage Collection figures, Queel is absolutely necessary to have. So he's here. He's looking really good. The Black Series one was fantastic, and
hope he sells better than the Black Series one.
Yeah, there's that. There is that. But
I bet he
collection,
will. I bet he will.
Yeah, the Vintage Collection isn't as easy to find. I mean, neither are easy to find, but it's a little harder to find than Black Series, I feel like.
Yeah.
So I think he'll be
especially
okay.
if it's a new figure and your classic collectors that want that scale are still very. I think he'll do better than he did in the Black Series. Carl Weathers. Not
to mention those 26,000 people that back the Razor Crest that are going to want him. So
there you go. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep. And then finally we have Bo-Katan, which I think we all were pretty confident this was going to happen at some point. And bring it. I mean, we have the Black Series figure, you and I, and it's fantastic. It's
fantastic. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, and they said this is a brand new sculpt from the ground up. She's got rocker ankles, which is, something that a lot of people appreciate in the Vintage Collection.
Yeah.
And she's got interchangeable heads. How cool is that?
Oh, they're interchangeable heads. It's not a mask.
Interchangeable heads, yeah.
Oh, I'm looking at her hair now. Yeah, I mean, I've wanted this since she got introduced in the Clone Wars, so I'm so excited. Really, really excited to get her and add her to the collection. Yeah, that's a hands down just a perfect choice. And it looks great.
Yeah, she
looks like a shrunk down version of the. Yeah, I mean the Black Series one is so many figures are a top 10 figure, but currently I'd list her as a top 10 figure.
I would say so.
Everything they've come out with in the past few years, honestly, that I've bought is basically a top 10 figure, though. I mean, they're all just.
Yeah, she looks good. I do have one gripe, and that is with the helmet on, or the helmeted head, I should say. It looks a little small. Like in the pictures with the helmet, like I feel like the head looks a little small, but
You're not wrong. Hopefully it looks different when we're looking at the figure.
Yeah.
But I'm probably going to display her with the helmet off. But very excited about this one.
They're like what I do with Black Series is I bought two and I have one with the helmet on, with the helmet off, because I'm a weirdo.
I mean, I can't say I haven't been tempted to do the same thing. I haven't.
I get into this thing where I worry if the paint is going to scratch with removable helmets. I don't think it's as bad an issue now, but in the past, Jango Fett, Captain Rex, some of those older figures that had removable helmets had a tendency to crush the nose, like push it down and to rub paint. So I don't think it's as bad of an issue on Bo-Katan or on the Bad Batch. Like I feel like those helmets are a little bit looser, but the collector in me, the perfectionist OCD person within me is very particular and does not want to have to get to a point where I'm like, shoot, 5 years ago, why didn't I buy a second one? Now I got to pay $100 to get this figure.
I think that makes sense to me.
That's me.
I mean, I've had those accidents happen in the past.
Yes, for sure. So pipeline reveals were really exciting this time. As we mentioned at the top of the show, we're really stoked for what was probably the most exciting thing that they actually announced in this entire live stream was the pipeline reveals. I was going to say pipe stream reveals, if that wouldn't make sense. The pipeline. All right. So for Black Series, one that is kind of makes sense. The Jetta Patrol Stormtrooper. I mean, this is a regular Stormtrooper, but now has like the backpack and the pauldron. It's cool. I mean, troopers always make sense. People always buy them in bulk, including myself sometimes. So I have no qualms with the the Jetta Patrol Trooper.
How many are you gonna get?
At least two. We have the next one. The next one is super, super exciting. Bib Fortuna.
I'm so excited about Bib Fortuna. I'm so excited because he's a Jabba the Hutt alien. I squealed with delight. I can't wait to see how he's done, if he's got cloth goods or what he is. He was one of my original favorite toys from back in the 80s. Yeah, I'm over the moon about getting Bib Fortuna in this line. It feels like finally, even though he's, you know, such a tertiary character.
Right.
But yeah, I hope they knock it out of the park and really just make him look incredible, because I love good old dumb Bib Fortuna, and I love Jabba the Hutt stuff. He's going to go right here on my mini Black Series Jabba the Hutt display, right above where I'm sitting. Very,
Nice.
very, very excited for him. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. You know, we always talk about aliens, the lack of aliens in both scales, and
Yep.
Bib Fortuna, awesome. You know, we have the Gamorrean Guard, we have Lando in a skiff outfit, we have an older Leia in Hutt Slayer gear, whatever. We have Jedi Luke, we have Han Carbonite, and yeah, now we're getting Bib Fortuna to go along with Jabba the Hutt. So
Right.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I want more of those Jabba aliens.
Yes.
There might be some specific ones that I would really, really like to get in the Black Series.
I'll bet you would like that Max Rebo band. Puppet-sized noodles.
Oh my, yeah, exactly. Puppet versions, those 3 characters. You can release all the other digital things later, but I want my original puppets.
That would be a hit. That would be a hit.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a Moloch situation. This, you know, set like that would be a hit.
Yeah, poor Moloch. I love Moloch, but
yeah,
not a great seller.
Not a great seller. Okay, so Mayfeld is coming. How do you feel about Mayfeld coming in his trooper disguise and not in his season 1 bounty hunter style mercenary outfit?
I remember nothing about his season 1 bounty hunter outfit in the slightest. I watched that episode once and definitely don't need to watch that one again. So this is fine for me.
Yeah, that's one of my less, I mean, it's cool, but it's one of my less favorite Mando episodes, I think. But yeah, to me, this is cheaper for them to do, because I'm sure they're making a kit bash with Han Mud Trooper and the Rogue One hover tank, or whatever, the combat assault tank trooper's legs, right?
Yeah,
and then,
give them Bill Burr's head.
Yeah, head, helmet, easy. They got it.
Yeah, that's my take on it. I you know, you're getting your Mayfeld figure if you're looking for a Mayfeld figure.
Absolutely.
So,
and
sure.
I'm sure you're excited about Fennec Shand.
Yeah, I think I might actually get Fennec Shand. It's a question mark, but I like her. I like Ming-Na quite a bit. So a Ming-Na action figure. Is it Ming-Na or Ming-What? Ming-Na, right?
Ming-Na, yeah.
Yeah. I think she's a delight. So having her show back up in The Mandalorian after another one of those episodes in the first season was I was quite delighted by. So I'm probably going to be buying Fennec Shand.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. And yeah, I love how she's you know, she's always like tweeting about like Star Wars and like, you know, retweeting fans' artwork and stuff. So yeah, really cool to see. Yeah, no, I'm excited about this one. It makes sense. And I know we talked about it before, but we'll see if she has like a removable abdominal panel where you can see her innards.
Oh, that's right. That would be really cool if they did that. Oh, Hasbro, you would be a fool to not include a weird removable panel that shows robot guts.
Yes.
Just because it's weird. Star Wars needs to be weird.
That's what it's all about. The Cantina is weird. Jabba's palace is weird. A lot of stuff in Solo is weird. I mean, the little singing frog dude in the tank. I mean, you know, there's just like...
Oh my God, I loved the singing dude in the frog tank in Solo. Oh my God. That every time you get to that scene and there's this beautiful woman singing this thing and then there's just a blob. It's like...
I love that.
Oh my God, I can't believe they did that, and it's so good. Yeah. You can sell me on anything from Solo. But yes, Fennec Shand with a robot guts. Give me
Absolutely.
robot guts.
Yeah, let's do it. That takes us into Nomad Boba Fett, which is cool. I mean, I'd kind of prefer his what are they calling it? The re-armored look, right? Where he repainted his armor.
Right.
But I mean, this is cool. It's a little more limiting, I feel like. But I mean, he's going to look great. I'm sure. Nobody's not going to buy him. So
the book of Boba Fett is coming out this winter, right?
December, yeah.
December. Maybe Hasbro will be on the ball this time and have that figure ready to roll for them.
Yeah.
Because I mean, if we're getting Nomad Boba Fett, which out of the two would be my top choice because he looks so different. So he's the one I'm very excited about. But so we know we'll get the other one.
Yeah, that's true. That's another way to look at it. This could be their only opportunity to do this version of the figure.
Yeah, time the other one up just for the perfect release around Christmas season or something like that.
That'd be good.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. And then the last pipeline for Black Series is Cobb Vanth. Cobb Vanth!
Man, am I going to buy Cobb Vanth? I do not know. Timothy Olyphant.
Blasphemy.
Man, I love Timothy Olyphant. I love Timothy Olyphant. Anything with Timothy Olyphant in it. Most anything. No, anything with Timothy Olyphant in it is good. You ever seen the movie Dreamcatcher?
No.
It's a Stephen King story written when he was high on pain medication after his car accident, turned into a movie directed by and screenwritten by Lawrence Kasdan, and it is terrible. Oh, it is a terrible, terrible movie. But it's terrible because of the ridiculous, bonkers plot line. All right, get ready for a spoiler tag for people that don't want Dreamcatcher spoiled, all right? I'm going to spoil it for you, unless you want, all right?
Yes.
This is a story about four friends in small town New Hampshire or Maine, probably Maine because it's Stephen King, and they save a mentally handicapped boy from being beaten up by bullies, and in exchange somehow the mentally handicapped boy bestows upon them all psychic powers. And then when they're older in life, they go to a cabin out in the woods every single year during the winter and go hunting. And they all have these psychic powers, right? And and then the alien invasion happens while they're up in the woods. And the aliens exist as spores that infect them and then explode out of their butts as weasel things that turn into bigger critter things. And one of them takes over Damian Lewis's mind and speaks to him in a British accent. And Morgan Freeman is a bad guy in it with big, thick, bushy white eyebrows. And it is bonkers, and you should absolutely watch it. And Timothy Olyphant is one of the four gentlemen out in the forest, along with Jason Lee, Damian Lewis, and some other person.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah. I highly recommend you watch it. You're just gonna watch it and be like, what?
Yeah,
what? But yes, Timothy Olyphant is in it.
That my earliest recollection of him was in Gone in 60 Seconds. He was like,
I've never seen it.
That's one of my favorite movies. Like it's just silly, but I really like it. One of those late 90s type movies. But no, he was cool. He was like he was an officer, a police officer in that one.
So Cobb Vanth.
Cobb Vanth. Yes.
The chances of me not buying a Timothy Olyphant action figure. I mean, I'm buying a Timothy Olyphant action figure.
Yeah, or two or three.
I mean, it just better come with that delightfully handsome Timothy Olyphant face sculpt.
Yes, absolutely. It better.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's exciting. That's super exciting. That's Bib Fortuna is probably, I want to say, my most exciting of these pipelines for Black Series, but Cobb Vanth's a close second.
Yeah, Bib Fortuna is the one I'm most excited about for amongst the entire roster of things announced today.
Totally.
Because Bib Fortuna.
So Vintage Collection pipeline, these are exciting as well. So again, who do we have?
Bib Fortuna.
Bib Fortuna.
Yes, I'm very excited for 3 3/4 in scale vintage collection Bib Fortuna. For all the same reasons I said a few moments ago. He's one of my favorite characters from being a kid, and now I need him on my sail barge.
He's one of the most memorable things about Return of the Jedi, like period.
He won the Wanga.
I don't know how I feel about him in Mandalorian / Book of Boba Fett, because the voice just sounded so weird. It didn't sound right to me.
And because he blew up on the sail barge?
Yeah, he was supposed to have blown up on the sail. Maybe he had an escape pod built into the kitchen of the sail barge, and he escaped that way.
Sure.
I don't know.
This is my cat, Kalinda. Say hello to Kalinda. This is our bum cat.
Hi, Kalinda.
This is our little bum cat.
Cute.
Hello there.
She's like, hi.
Here she comes. Here she comes to say hello. Hello, Kalinda.
Love it. If you're watching the YouTube version of this, then you get to see all the cuteness for yourself.
Little Kalinda. Oh, hello.
Love it.
Hello. Yeah.
It's possible. It's possible that when the barge blew, he just like got thrown from the wreck, and he like tumbled into the sand, and like he didn't fall into the Sarlacc, but he just like fell to the back somewhere, and he got saved by Jawas. Or
sure. I mean, I don't care. It's fine. I just thought it was funny. It's like, yeah, you see him the moment before the thing blows up.
Yeah.
Like, but, you know, somehow Palpatine returned. Somehow Bib Fortuna returned. They just come back.
I love the way he says it. Somehow Palpatine returned.
Yep. Yeah. Somehow Bib Fortuna returned.
Yeah.
I think it's hilarious that he's just giant and fat. Like he's been sitting there just eating nachos this whole time. I'm like, good for you, Bib Fortuna.
Right.
Oh. All right. We have to come back to something. All right. But hey, Bib Fortuna. Yay.
Bib Fortuna. And
I love seeing him in the Bad Batch also. And might I point out to all of the folks out there angry that the Rancor's name is Moochie and not whatever the original Rancor's name is. What's the original Rancor's name?
I don't know, Tom.
Beth?
It's going a little too deep for me.
Yeah, even for you. Apparently the name is different. We don't know that Moochie is the Rancor that Luke Skywalker kills.
That's true. Maybe it's the Rancor that
the Bad Batch rescues. It's the one of the Bad Batch is going to rescue at the end of the series and take off and live happily ever after with, because Moochie is delightful, and I don't want to see critters get
Wrecker. It'd have to be Wrecker, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, certainly. They're best buds.
They're going to abscond into the great unknown.
I'm for it.
Aboard the back of a hyperspace whale. You never know.
No.
You never know. Okay, Lobbit. Lobbit is another, like Bib, original 96.
Do you call him Lobbit?
Or Lobot, I don't know.
It's Lobot. I mean, you don't know. Victoria, you yell at me for not knowing that this Stormtrooper's helmet is slightly different than another Stormtrooper. Boba Fett has a red gauntlet and this one and a blue one, and they're different. And you can't pronounce Lobot? It's Lobot. Lobot.
Okay, Lobot. Sorry.
He's one of the most important characters ever in Star Wars. Lobot. He has that great line of dialogue where he's like,
yeah, that's the one. I actually have the saga or the original trilogy collection version right there.
Oh, cool.
In front of the cloud cart. He's
one I remember buying when I was a kid.
That's not a bad figure. It's like Bib. The saga collection from 2006 isn't a bad figure. Lobot from the original trilogy collection isn't a bad figure. But you know, they are outdated, you know, by modern standards. So it's good to see them both coming. I'm excited for Lobot. I think it's going to be a great addition to the line. And tell us about the last thing that they announced for pipeline reveals in TVC.
All right. So this is another play set. Which is really more like a diorama piece, or the other ones have been diorama pieces, and I'm all about those. But this one is the Navarro Cantina from The Mandalorian, and this makes sense. This is a smart decision for them because The Mandalorian is the hottest Star Wars property. It is current. I'm certain we'll go back to Navarro again.
Navarro?
Isn't that what it's called?
Weren't you
Navarro?
just schooling me about pronunciations? Isn't it Navarro?
I've seen most of these episodes once. You'll have to forgive me on
Yeah, and you'll have to forgive me since Lobot is mentioned in The Empire Strikes Back by name. So
that's true. That's true. Lando's never like, and here is my good buddy Lobot. He and I have had many adventures together. Lobot and I.
He could have said, Lobot, take him and keep it quiet, move, or but he didn't mention his name. He just like keep it quiet, move, or whatever he said.
In the script, it was probably guy with robot piece on face.
Right.
Yeah.
Lobotomized dude. I don't know what it said. Yeah. So this cantina thing, it really. I mean,
who are we gonna display in the cantina scene of? Not Navarro. You can put the Mandalorian in there and Carl Weathers.
This is a frustrating one for me. I like the cantina. I love the cantina.
Yeah.
Right.
You like
everybody
the
knows
cantina.
That. Yes.
You like not knockoff cantina.
Right. So like you said, Mandalorian is the hot thing still, and it makes sense that they would do something with it. But when they haven't done the cantina yet, it's makes it a little more perplexing. Not to mention, like you said, there's basically no figures for us to interact with this thing. It's a cantina. You need a bunch of bounty hunters and aliens and droids and stuff. We see a good number of them in the show in season 1, but we don't really have anything to use with it.
I mean, you just got to use your other ones, right? From the original classic cantina proper.
No,
well,
that's not what it's going to do.
No, I know that's not what people are going to want to do, but that's the most you can do. I mean, the likelihood of them releasing any more of those weird background aliens, I think, is non-existent with the way currently things go.
Yeah.
I think it's a smart. I see why they think it's a smart decision. I have zero interest in this. Not even. Yeah. I mean, I don't care in the slightest. Are you gonna get it? I know you're sort of a completist, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I want to see it, but yeah, I mean, I'm probably gonna get it. But my thing is that. I mean, at the pace that they're releasing figures and how they're so hesitant to release like background characters these days, how are they going to make it work? Like, I'm just really curious to see how are they going to make it work? Even if it's not coming out for another year, I mean, are they going to make that many background aliens for it between now and then?
No chance. No. I mean, you've looked at most of what the output is, and these days it's basically 75% things that look like Boba Fett, right? It's a character in a Boba Fett outfit. Cobb Vanth, Bo-Katan, Boba Fett, the Mandalorian, Heavy Artillery Mandalorian, the Armorer. It's all variations on a Boba Fett outfit.
True.
True. Which I find. I understand it, but I also find the creativity in what used to be such a vast and interesting franchise now incredibly limited to stuff that looks like Boba Fett. Yeah. So yeah, I was very disappointed by this reveal. But for people that are excited to put the Mandalorian and Carl Weathers in a chair together, so Carl Weathers can say Mando.
You mean season 2 Carl Weathers can say that?
Huh?
So that season 2 Carl Weathers can say that?
What do you mean? Oh, is that the outfit he's in? Are they
the figure that we have? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's. I mean, they could have released the Navarro classroom as a diorama.
Yeah, I thought about that.
It's all children that are human children.
A Star Wars classroom. I would actually like that because I would appreciate that for obvious reasons. But
it would be funny. It would be real funny.
I would display that in the classroom. I mean, I'd have to, right? If they did that.
Get customizing there. Get customizing. Maybe that's what you can do with the Navaroni Guns of Navarone one. You can put little tables and chairs in it and get little.
Absolutely.
Like you, disappointed by the reveal of what the playset is, since I'm not really interested in that, and I don't think they have enough figures to populate it in an interesting way for most people. Also, because I was incredibly disappointed when they're like, it's going to be a playset, what's it going to be? I'm still hoping for the rest of Jabba's palace, Jabba's throne area. That's what I really, really want. But the Book of Boba Fett is coming out this year, and the little tease was that spot. So maybe they'll release the playset and have it for the Book of Boba Fett. If they do that, and my Jabba the Hutt throne fits in it, because I don't care about the other throne. If it fits in there, then perfect. I'm happy. I'm happy as a clam. So fingers crossed that's what they're going to do.
Yeah, I think we need that. The throne was out over a decade ago at this point, and it was a Walmart exclusive. And I think they can
from it melted.
That's true. Which they've had better Jabba since then, so it's like whatever. But they could reissue that throne to be perfectly acceptable, and then they could add. I think in the Mandalorian, like Bib Fortuna's throne was on top of Jabba's dais, right?
No, the dais just wasn't there.
It wasn't at all. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. I felt like it was there.
Hang on. I'm pretty confident it was not. Oh, look who's wrong. Look who is 100% wrong. It is Tom. I'm looking at the photo right now. Nope, you're spot on correct.
Cool. So yeah, I mean they could reissue it with Bib's seat, and then you can just remove that, and then you could do it either way. Yeah, of course, perfect. We would kind of need to have Bib Fortuna to do that, but not really, because I guess Boba Fett can sit there too.
Yeah, and they're releasing Bib Fortuna, just not Fat Bib Fortuna. Maybe he'll come with exclusive Fat Bib Fortuna.
Yeah, which I just noticed your cap, by the way. I don't know why it took me so long, but I'm digging it.
Oh yeah, right. Say a friend of mine bought this for me back when. This is a pin related to a buddy of mine named Buddy the Rat that runs around New York, dressed as a rat. And, Lena bought me the hat so that she could put the nice patch onto it. So yeah, this is my hat these days.
Nice. I like it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's great. It's a good one.
Cool. But yeah, no, I definitely hear you there. I mean, I like how they're doing some of these things, these play sets, but they really need to finish the ones they've started. The whole point of that first Jabba set was that they said, it's modular, and if we do anything else, you'll be able to connect with it. And that's been when was that, 2019? So it's been 2 years.
Yeah, all things considered, that's not a terribly long period of time. But I'm wanting more. Come on.
It's not a long period of time. My concern is that, they switch these teams out every few years, and they relaunch the way they do the lines, and, whatever the proclamations are that come down from above, what they're going to focus on. So my concern is that, if they let too much time go by, then they're just going to forget about it, and it's not going to happen. So
that's a great point. Let's do it for Book of Boba Fett. Make that little section. Please.
Yeah, they have the dais. They all they need to do is the throne, maybe do the wall from the back.
Yeah.
Then include a figure.
Little steps and the little archway. That's it. That's all I need.
That's all we need, and it would integrate very nicely with the previous set. So
yeah,
let's make it happen, Captain. All right. So yeah, Cantina's coming. It's just not the Cantina. It's a Cantina. It's perplexing. It is, it's perplexing.
When you spend 40 years being like, we can't make the Cantina, we can't make the Cantina, we can't make the Cantina. Look, everyone, it's the Cantina, just not the Cantina you asked for. It's like, come on. Yeah.
I have a feeling the pack-in figure is going to be, wasn't it a bartender droid that they had? It was like the Death Star droid.
I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, it was like a silver Death Star droid. That'll probably be the pack-in, only because they already have the sculpt.
Oh, right.
I think that's what it's going to be.
Yeah.
Just a guess, but
yeah, that's a safe guess.
It's never new sculpts in these sets, so
no.
Anyhow.
Yeah, disappointed by that.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I would prefer the Emperor's throne room. I would have preferred something Java's related. A Sarlacc even if they could figure out a way to do that. But
yeah.
Anyway. So there's the big HasLab non-reveal, but they did reveal the fact that I see what you got going on there.
I'm sorry, Kalinda.
They did reveal the fact that HasLab is going to be Black Series. It's not Vintage Collection. It is going to be a Black Series this time around.
Yep. So what do you think it's going to be?
So I think it was Comic-Con 20... I don't remember it was 18 or 19. It might have been 18 that they had a big 6-inch scale Rancor.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like an actual product. It was just something that they did. But that was kind of weird because they've never done that for anything as far as I can remember for Comic-Con, like sculpted a unique like sculpt of a creature or a character without the intent to release it or without having it labeled as something that was coming. I think that's what it is. They said it's not a vehicle. If that's what it is, though, Tom, I don't think I'm going to get it.
Wait. I'm sorry, what?
If it is the Rancor, I don't think I am going to get it.
What? But why? It's the Rancor.
It's the Rancor. It's Mochi or whatever its name is, or not Mochi. But Tom, look at how big this is. This is the Black Series 3 3/4 inch Rancor. Look how big this thing is.
Yeah, and the new one would be this big.
Exactly.
It would be so big.
That's the thing. So I'm sure you remember that First Order TIE Fighter that they released several years ago now.
Yeah.
That thing was just too big. I bought it. I set it up. And there were, aside from the wings being flimsy and kind of crappy, my husband was like, why would they even make something that big? Where are you going to put it? Like, there's no reason for something like that to exist. He told me. And I was like, you're kind of right. I don't know why we need this item. I mean, this is kind of excessive. And, obviously it didn't do very well. I mean, they said it did well, but it went to clearance everywhere released.
Hasbro sold enough of them, and then the stores couldn't get rid of them. That's what they meant by it did well.
There you go. Yeah, there you go.
So no stores were ever going to be ordering large things like that.
Right. And they say we were supposed to get an X-Wing to follow that up. But that kind of killed the chances of that happening. Retailers didn't want to pick that up.
No.
So I can see why something like this needs to be a HasLab to exist, but
it's too big.
I don't need a huge. How big is it going to be? It's going to be like 2 or 3 feet tall Rancor. I don't need that.
I mean, I would guess it's going to be twice the size of the one you've got right there.
Yeah, and this is fine. I mean, this is fine. It's for my like vintage collection display. I don't need a bigger Rancor. I mean, that's the thing about the Black Series. I think it's fine as a character-focused line. Occasionally do the beasts, or smaller vehicles. The Land Speeder, great. Ray Speeder, great. Enfys Nest Speeder, great. The Dewback, awesome. I love that. Things like
smaller
that are smaller things that make sense. $50 price point, fine. I don't need a Rancor in Black Series scale. If that, we're just speculating. We don't know what it's going to be. Right. That's just my personal guess because of that thing that they showed all those years ago. I mean, why else would they have shown it if they didn't intend to gauge interest and see what people thought about it? But even back then, I was saying the same thing. If they did make it, I would probably not be able to display it anywhere.
Yeah, so they specifically called out and said it's not a vehicle, which is why we're supposing other people are suspecting, it's going to be a diorama like the Millennium Falcon cockpit. Sure, and that would be a smart idea. I have no interest in that. I, on the other hand, opposite of you, really would love a Rancor because I love the giant monster things in Star Wars. That's kind of one of my favorite things about it. And it's where the heck's that gonna go? I have no idea. Currently, it would have to go in storage. But the idea of just having a really giant Rancor, I would be first in line to order. But that, I think, out of the options, that would be the only thing I would. Unless it was like, we're doing the Max Rebo band. And that's the only way it's ever going to happen. But I don't think that's going to be the case. But
so if it was something like that, if it was Jabba's dais with the Max Rebo band, we have Jabba the Hutt already. If it was that,
oh right, the dais, right?
100%, I would back that.
Yeah, because that's still a manageable. Mm-hmm. That's a manageable item. Like I might be in the kind of outlier here, and that because of my love of the giant monster things, if you want to sell me a $350 Rancor that's just twice the size of the thing that's next to you there, I would buy it. I mean, it's got to have articulation, right? If it's just a stiff thing and its arms go out and that's it, then probably not. But but that's just because if you've got a big monster, I'm in for the big monster.
You're in for the big monster.
Yeah, but I understand why. Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing with like even the Razor Crest and the sail barge and people talking about these things. Like we're getting to the point now where people are like, oh my God, that's awesome. They're making Super 7's making the Thunder tank. It's going to be this big. Where am I going to put it? We got Snake Mountain. I've got Snake Mountain above me right now because I had to hang it on a wall because like, where are you going to put it? When you get the Razor Crest, where are you going to put it? That's the problem with the sizing up of all these things. You start hitting a point where your ability to put them in the spot just runs out.
Totally. Like at least with smaller, like, 3 3/4 inch vehicles or even Black Series vehicles, I have the option of, okay, I'm going to display. It's going to take up, a foot of space, 2 feet of space.
Right.
With something like the barge or the Razor Crest, or, if they do something really big with Black Series, that's just such a huge piece of like real estate. Yeah. And I'm so limited on display space as it is. So, I mean, I don't know that I'd be able to justify Rancor, but I love your idea of the band. If it was the Max Rebo band.
Oh God, that'd make me really happy. But
it would be awesome. And, I think if they did the dais, it would need to have Jabba because he's been gone for a long time. I think they would need to bring him back in that set with photoreal. I know a lot of us have them, but if they were going to do it as a HasLab, I think that's kind of something they would need to do. I think they already did some of the accessories, right? They were a Comic-Con exclusive, like Salacious Crumb. And,
yeah. So if you didn't get the Comic-Con exclusive, you don't have Salacious Crumb, and I don't have Salacious Crumb. That's I don't either. It's a bummer for old Tom.
Well, it would have to be part of this theoretical HasLab if they did.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's a real gamble. What would you like it to be if it's not, just a bunch of figures? Because I think the likely thing is it's not going to be a set of smaller figures. I think it's going to be a big. What would you like it to be? Yeah.
I feel that it's going to be Return of the Jedi based because we're approaching the 40th anniversary in a couple of years.
Yep.
If it's not going to be a group of figures, what I want it to be, I would say firstly that I don't want a HasLab that's Black Series because it's going to be a big item.
I mean, yeah, you ain't wrong there.
I mean, if it's not figures, which, I think figures, I start thinking Cantina aliens that we'll never get in 3 and 3, or, we'll never get in the main line.
Right.
But if it's not either of those things and it's not a vehicle, I mean, that kind of limits it quite a bit to like what creatures have they. Exactly. The Rancor. And that's not something I want. So
yeah, I think it's really unlikely it's going to be diorama pieces. People are suggesting that. I think that's really unlikely, but I could be wrong. I would be less interested in diorama pieces for 6-inch stuff than yeah, I don't know. It would be neat if they were just like, oh, it's 10 Black Series figures that we ain't never gonna make otherwise. Here's Hammerhead and
the Tonica
Face and the Tonica sisters. Yeah. Oh God, don't give us the Tonica sisters and Black Series before you put it in.
Yeah, that would just be the ultimate buzzkill.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. My guess is the Rancor.
I think that's what it's going to be. I think it's Return of the Jedi. I think they're going to, tap into that 40th anniversary of the film. Mm-hmm. And, they did show us that Rancor that they had, I don't know, what was it, a prototype or a mock-up? I don't know what it was, but I think they were gauging interest at that point. Mm-hmm. And it's possible at this point, because they haven't announced exactly what it is, they're still maybe gauging interest and they still haven't decided 100% on what it is. So they just want to see, now that we know that it's a Black Series and not a vehicle, maybe they want to know what we are going to guess it is or what we want to see. Maybe. I don't know. But yeah, we'll see.
On the bright side, if it's the Rancor, you get to save money. I saved money last time. You get to save money this time.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, I'm not saying I would not buy it. I don't think I would buy it because you know how I operate.
Be strong, Victoria. If you don't want the Rancor, you don't have to own the Rancor.
You're right, Tom. You're right. I need to get a hold of myself better. So yeah, I think that pretty much wraps up these reveals. I think it was a really stellar fan First Friday. What was it called? Father's Day.
Live stream. Star Wars live stream.
Yeah, I was going to say I'm not your Father's Day. I am your Father. I don't even remember. So it's like a Maury Povich thing, right? Like I am not the Father's Day.
Yeah, I think they had a good showing, and I think a lot of people are going to be pretty happy with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm happy with some of the stuff. I mean, that's you know, I don't need to buy everything. They showed me some stuff that I'm over the moon about.
Yep. So. Absolutely. So I asked on Twitter what our listeners' favorite reveals were and what they thought about today's reveals. So Benjamin Urban says, the 40th anniversary of Mandalorian is only 38 years away. There will be so many figures, just you see, for the Cantina playset. Yeah. I don't know.
Not the way they're currently going.
I don't know if I'll be around in that 38 years. That's a long time. That's a long time from now. I don't know what'll be going on. Yeah, the Earth might not even be here anymore.
After the aliens take it. After the ghost aliens.
The ghost aliens. So a Classic Action Figure says, I think the presentation was quite good, better than past ones. Love that we are getting more TVC figures to go along with the Razor Crest. The Black Series is on fire. Too bad they didn't talk about the retro collection. 8 out of 10 presentation for me. Yeah, I'm okay with that. I mean, I think we already got the Mando wave is hitting. I already have my sets. I haven't really opened them yet, but
how'd you? Yeah, I still haven't gotten mine yet.
Yeah, I got it from Entertainment Earth. I ordered 2 cases so I could open one, card the others on the wall.
Yeah, at most they're going to reveal one of those a year, and Mandalorian was this year, right?
Yeah, so
I think next year.
I think we got the announcement in the fall for Mandalorian, so I think I'd expect similar. Maybe we'll get it in the fall for the next wave, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Brittany Milia says, Rogue One crew, Darth Revan, Fennec Shan are my favorites, but Leia's head, and she has the heartbreak emoji.
Just.
Yeah, I know. We don't need to relitigate that, but that, nope. You know, if that is what they showed it to be, yeah. Malnourished Snake says that his favorite thing was the Jetta Patrol Trooper. And, you know, we talked about that. Troopers are always a smart.
Always can sell those.
Yeah, always. Jeff D says, more Mandalorian in the vintage collection, but we are finally getting Bo-Katan and a Cantina. Yeah, Bo-Katan is great.
We are getting a Cantina.
Yeah. And Hassan Scarborough says Nomad Boba was his favorite reveal. So, yeah, I mean, a lot of good stuff in both scales. The pipelines are great. The actual product reveals, you know, stuff centered around Mandalorian and some Return of the Jedi stuff that we've been asking for a long time, some Rogue One stuff. I think it was pretty well-rounded. Yeah. You know, some of the things were kind of confusing, like Leia and Obi-Wan from Revenge of the Sith. But I think on the whole, this was their best presentation in some time. And I think they were the most exciting items that they've announced in some time.
Yeah. Yep, I agree with you, 100%. I think it's unlikely I'll be rebuying those Rogue One figures that I already own, with the exception of probably Jin. But you know, still they're looking great. They're looking great. I'm very excited to include add Buddy Rook to the roster.
Yeah,
and you get another 501st clone because it's been a long time coming.
Yeah, no, some really exciting stuff. I'm thrilled about everything. That's, you know, I mean, mostly. But yeah, no, I think it was a really stellar product reveal, and I hope, you know, next time they do another one of these that it's just as exciting because, you know. Yeah.
It's nice when you get excited for all this stuff.
Yeah, if only we can.
And it's also nice when all the reveals are not just Target exclusives, G.I. Joe.
Yeah, I hear you there. And hopefully we can find the stuff because, that's the other half of this battle is being able to obtain it. So get your pre-orders in. They're going live tomorrow, which, once this episode airs, they'll already probably be up. So.
They're already sold out. I don't think that Anton Merrick and Galen Erso are going to be the big sellers.
I think they're going to sell out pretty quickly. Maybe. I could be wrong. But I think they will. But yeah, get your pre-orders in. Don't be that guy or that girl that misses out because the figure was $1 more on Entertainment Earth than on Amazon.
Yeah, at this point, it's like, whatever.
Yeah. Cool. Well, Tom, it's been a blast. Any final thoughts before we say goodbye?
Nope, nothing for me. I've said and babbled enough. I wish everyone a happy whatever day it is into the weekend.
Yeah, as have I. Babbled enough. So good stuff, my friend. Thank you as always. And where can our listeners go to find you online?
Oh gosh, you can't.
He's a ghost, an alien ghost.
Woozlin Demon on Twitter and Woozlin Demon on Instagram, but man, I never post anything on there because I'm just not very cool.
Yeah, we're not. Yeah, I'm not always that cool either, so it's okay. Don't feel bad. All right, thanks, and thanks to everybody who listened to this episode. If you're watching on YouTube, be sure and give us that like. Stomp that like button or smash that like button or whatever jargon you want to throw in here for your own purposes. But definitely give us a like. It definitely helps to get the show found if you're not subscribed to Victoria's Cantina or a listener to the show. So if you're listening through one of your podcast apps, then appreciate that too. Be sure to give us a review. More stuff coming on the way. Tom, I look forward to talking again about toys in the near future.
Love it. Talk to you soon.
All right, bye, Tom. Take care.
Bye, all.
Bye. And that's a wrap for this episode. Victoria's Cantina began on YouTube, and you can find plenty of toy content on the Victoria's Cantina YouTube channel. We are also on Instagram, showcasing toy photography at Victoria's Cantina, as well as Facebook at Victoria's Cantina, and on Twitter, ranting and raving about toys and other nonsense at Vic's Cantina. For fun and random toy clips, follow us on TikTok at Victoria's Cantina. Got a question or something you'd like to share with us? Drop us a line in the fax machine. You can email victoriascantina@yahoo.com. If you are so inclined and wish to drop a coin in the tip jar, we are on Patreon, where you can gain greater access to the channel while helping to keep the content rolling. For VC branded merchandise such as t-shirts, ball caps, mugs, and other fun stuff, visit us on Teespring and TeePublic. Links to all of these magical places can be found in the show notes. Do you got a minute or two? If you are listening on Apple Podcasts, please leave us a 5-star rating and drop a brief review explaining why you enjoy the show. As always, I'm Victoria, and no matter where you're listening out in the galaxy, I'd like to thank you for tuning in to the Cantina Chatter podcast.